for the country's leading University of Technology. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my Lord, spiritual and temporal, traditional rulers, leaders of our academic and civil societies, on behalf of our Vice Chancellor, Professor Oladipo, I welcome us to the 193rd in the series of inaugural lecture of our university. The title of today's lecture is Six-Legged Arthropods, Food Security, Health, and National Economic Development. It will be delivered by Olufunmilayo, Eunice, Oladipo, Professor of Applied Entomology and Pest Management. A round of applause for the inaugural lecture. In tandem with the tradition of our institution, will be presided over by our Vice Chancellor, Professor Oladipo, represented by one of the Deputy Vice Chancellors. We have the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Development, Professor Sunday Samuel Oluyamo in attendance. A round of applause for the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Development. The Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic, Professor Taiwo Timothy Amos. A round of applause for him, please. The Registrar, Chief Scribe, and Secretary to Council of our institution, Mr. Charles Olufunmilayo Adeleye, is also here. The Chancellor of the SDK, Abosa, Mr. Peter Oladipo Oshaduba, is also here. The Librarian of our institution, Dr. Robert Akiade Awoyemi, is here with us. The Acting Provost, College of Health Sciences, Professor Oladipo, is also here. A round of applause for him. All our deans are in attendance. We have the Chairman, Committee of Deans, as well as Dean School of Computing, Professor Boniface Kayode Alishi. A round of applause for him. The Dean School of Agriculture and Agricultural Technology is Professor Oladipo Thomas Adebayo. Shall we give him a round of applause? The Dean School of Basic Medical Sciences, Professor Akim Oladipo. A round of applause for him. Dean School of Infrastructure, Minerals and Manufacturing Engineering, Professor Christopher Olufunmilayo. You are welcome, sir. The Dean School of Electrical Systems Engineering is Professor Oladipo. A round of applause for him. Dean of Health and Mineral Sciences is in attendance. Let's make welcome Professor Ayodeji Oluleye. The Dean School of Environmental Technology is Professor Joseph Omoni Basho. A round of applause for him. The Dean School of Logistics and Innovation Technology, Professor Olayemi Olasendi Simon. You are welcome. The Dean School of Life Sciences, Professor Mukta Kolawole Oladipo, is also with us. We welcome you, sir. The Dean School of Physical Sciences, Professor Femi Adebola, is there with us. You are welcome, sir. The Acting Dean School of Basic Clinical Sciences, Professor Mojisola Udo, is also with us. We welcome you. The Dean School of Postgraduate Studies, Professor Olufunmilayo Olusoji, is also with us. Welcome, sir. And the Dean that controls the largest contingent of forces on our campus, Dean Student Affairs Division, Professor David Olariwaju. Okay, you are welcome, sir. At this juncture, it is my singular honor and privilege to invite to the podium the representative of our Vice Chancellor to share this occasion and deliver the address of the Vice Chancellor.
my lords, spiritual and temporal, top government functionaries here present, the inaugural lecturer of today, Olufunmilayo, Eunice, Oladipo, these directors and heads of departments, distinguished members of Senate and congregation, eminent scholars and friends of the university, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, great Futarian, it gives me pleasure to welcome everyone to the 193rd Inaugural Lecture of the Federal University of Technology, Akure. I welcome very specially our spiritual and traditional leaders, top government functionaries, captains of industry, friends of the university, and the entire staff and students of the university. I'm very pleased to welcome immediate and extended family members, friends, and well-wishers of the inaugural lecture. I felicitate Professor Olufunmilayo, Eunice, Oladipo on this academic milestone. May I, at this juncture, request the inaugural lecturer to please rise while I present a citation. Olufunmilayo Eunice Oladipo was born 19th June 1968 in Ekiti, in Ekiti State. She attended St. Mary's Girls Grammar School in Ekiti State between 1981 and 1984. Methodist Comprehensive College, Shagamu, Secondary School Certificate in 1991. In her tertiary education, she attended the Federal University of Technology, Akure, and graduated with a good class degree in having Bachelor of Technology in Biology. Federal University of Technology, Akure, where she obtained MTech Food Storage Technology in 2002. Federal University of Technology, Akure, where she obtained PhD Food Storage Technology in 2010. Olufunmilayo Eunice Oladipo joined the services of the Federal University of Technology, Akure, as graduate assistant in the Department of Biology, School of Sciences in September 2000. She was appointed assistant lecturer in October 2003 and rose through the ranks attained the position of professor in October 2019 in the same department. She has supervised more than 60 undergraduate projects, 16 master's dissertations, and 3 PhD theses. She has authored and co-authored over 40 journal articles in reputable peer-reviewed journals and has presented papers at several conferences both within and outside the country. Professor Oladipo belongs to several professional bodies such as Entomological Society of Nigeria, Science Association of Nigeria, Organization for Women in Science of the Developing World, Nigeria Society for Plant Protection. She has served as reviewer of many national and international journals, some of which are Footer Journal of Research Sciences, Physiological Entomology USA, Journal of Laboratory Science Nigeria, Organization for Women in Science and Developing World. Leadership and management experience. Professor Oladipo has had years of experience both in positions in the university system and has served the Federal University of Technology Akure in many capacities. Some of which include Examination Officer, Biology Department between 2010 and 2011, Acting Head, Department of Biology 2017 to 2019, Member, University Senate 2019 to date, Director, Center for Continuing Education, FUTA, October 2022 to date, Member, University Admission Committee 2023 to date, Chairman, School of Life Sciences Curriculum Committee 2025 to date. Extracurricular activities. Outside the university, she has served as Treasurer, Entomological Society of Nigeria, Akure Branch, Akure, between 2004 to 2011. Financial Secretary, Academic Staff Union of University, as FUTA Branch, 2010 to 2012. Assistant Secretary, Academic Staff University, Academic Staff University, Union of University, ASU, FUTA Branch, 2015 to 2017. She is happily married, and the union is blessed with children. Some insects are beneficial to plants and animals, while some are deleterious to other living organisms. The inaugural lecture of today will guide this whole gathering through our academic voyage towards ensuring availability of food, good health, and economic prosperity through research endeavors, which enhance the growth and development of beneficial insects and withdraw the influence of the harmful ones. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have before us this day a distinguished scholar to present the 193rd Inaugural Lecture of the University, titled Six-Legged Arthropods, Food Security, Health, and Economic Development. Please join me in welcoming Professor Olufunmilayo to this Oladipo. Thank you.
The University, Acting Provost, College of Health Sciences, Deans, Directors and Heads of Departments, Members of the Senate, fellow professors and other academic colleagues, my family members, Royal Majesties, distinguished guests and friends of the University, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, great Futarians. I stand before you today, 24th February 2026, full of joy and immeasurable gratitude to the Almighty God, my shield, strength, and sustainer, the author and giver of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, to present the 193rd Inaugural Lecture Series of the Federal University of Technology Akure, titled Six-Legged Arthropods, Food Security, Health, and National Economic Development. This is the 8th inaugural lecture, the second female, and the first from the Graduate of Storage Technology Program in the Department of Biology. Today, I have the privilege to summarize my academic adventure and contributions to the application of biology for the benefits of man, journey to storage technology. Madam Vice Chancellor, I am a professor of applied entomology and pest management by divine design. I had wanted to become a medical doctor and had to write the university matriculation examination a couple of times, but often near the cut-off mark. Like Jacob at Jacob, I held on to God tenaciously for admission, but never forgot to say, "Oh Lord, let your will be done." learned to respect the house I built with money obtained from food. But I disregarded the revelation, continued my prayers, and obtained another job as usual. It remained 4 months to meet the cut-off mark for medicine at OAU. My sister again changed my university to Futa to study biology storage technology. I reluctantly accepted in obedience and in appreciation of her efforts, and then obtained another job. But as God would have his way, I forgot the day of the examination. I was lambasted, and God indeed taught analyzing what storage technology was all about. I later realized food is a major part of the course. Then I remembered the dream, accepted the divine choice, and became serious with my studies. Oh Lord, I know that the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man that walketh to direct his steps. I eventually had my BTech Biology Storage Technology, Masters in Food Storage Technology, and PhD in Stored Products in Entomology and Pest Management. I joined the services of the Federal University of Technology Accra in 2003 as an assistant lecturer, rose through the ranks to the position of food professor in October 2019. As for the dream, and it's going to pass. Storage forever. Storage technology is the art of preserving items in good condition to use. Applicants to the biology storage technology are always free because of the ignorance of the prospects of the course. Job opportunities are available across various sectors, in addition to being self-employed. Apart from storage of direct farm produce, storage technology takes care of all man-made products and ultimately man himself. Man is a tripartite being made of spirit, soul, and body. When man dies, the body is either buried or cremated with living past or stored. The body is stored either for few days at home or in mortuary, or relatively for long time in the morgue or mummified. Oftentimes, prior to death, man will commit the giving of their spirit and soul to God, that he might present to himself a glorious church, not having spot or ring or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish now unto me, that is able to keep you from falling and to present you faultless before the presence of his glory with exceeding joy. To the only wise God as Savior, be glory and majesty, dominion and power both now and forever. Amen. That is storage forever. Arthropods. Arthropods is the phylum of the diverse group of invertebrates, the largest phylum in the kingdom Animalia. The phylum is divided into 4 members of phylum: Chelicerata, Myriapoda, Crustacea, Hexapoda. The subphylum Hexapoda, the 6-legged arthropods. All hexapods are insects. They are distinguished from other related arthropods by their body that is divided into 3 distinct regions: the head, thorax, and abdomen. Figures 2 and 3. The class insect. Insects are the dominant group of animals on Earth, constituting about 75% of all described animal species. Figure 4. They exhibit a remarkable diversity in their habitats, ranging from terrestrial to aquatic environments and are cosmopolitan. They are generally small size with their mouthparts modified for various types of feeding, such as biting and chewing, piercing and sucking, tapping or sponging. They feed on endless varieties of foods. Among them are the polyphagous, phytophagous, carnivorous, hepatophagous, and detritivores. The diversity of insect habitats, feeding habits, and the ability to exploit a wide area of food sources are pivotal to their economic importance in environment, agriculture, and health. Insects and national economic development. The relationship between insects and humans is not always adversarial. Many insects are directly or indirectly beneficial to man and thus contribute significantly to national economic development. Insects and food security. Insects play a significant role in food security. The components of food security are availability, accessibility, utilization, and stability. Insects, through their ecological services, support food production, thus ensuring availability and stability from domestic production and storage. but the control of their deleterious activities influences food utilization. Insects as pollinators and enhancers of soil fertility. Insects are crucial for crop production through pollination, contributing to seed and fruit production and increased yields. Pollinating insects are estimated to contribute as much as $780.8 billion to the gross domestic product on the global scale. Without insects, artificial pollination will be extremely costly. Insects such as Musca domestica, Sarcophaga canaria, Lucilia delicata, Ugranium arachnoides, and Ninotaurus marginatus do efficiently incorporate nutrients from humans, cow dung, and dead animals into the soil, thus increasing the feed nutrients. Insects in pest management. Many insect species obtain their nutritional requirements from the ecosystem by parasitising or impregnating on other species of insects, thus helping in the control of pest species because 5A and B. Some insects also feed on weeds, thereby giving them insects emit biochemical compounds called pheromones, which when combined with weeds are used for monitoring, mating destruction, and attract and kill in insect pest management. Entomophagy. The use of insects as food is as old as human existence. Insects are rich in nutrients and are easily digested compared to fish and beef. Globally, approximately $400 million was estimated to have been realized from the sale of edible insects in 2018, out of which a paltry amount of $60 million was from Africa and Middle East. Insects also serve as major food for other insects and vertebrates. They are used as alternatives to fish meal and soy meal in formulating conventional animal feeds in aquaculture and livestock production. Because this be table 1. Insects as sources of valuable products. A number of products that are useful to humans are obtained from different species of insects: silk, honey, beeswax, propolis, cantarin, bee venom, royal jelly, cochinilla dye, and varnish are some of the useful products obtainable from insects. The local silk fabrics known as soya or ashoki is produced from the cocoons of Combis mori, Serena fodder, and another species. Nigeria stands to save more than 2 billion yearly. The agricultural bioeconomy is fully developed and commercialized. Apis mellifera is valued for the honey produced by the worker bees. Beeswax, a byproduct, is used in producing car wax, smokeless candles, cosmetics, and furniture polish. The value addition of raw honey to Nigeria's economy is as high as $230 billion annually. Resins, the scale insect, area lacquer, secrete a waxy resin that is converted commercially into lac and sheller, used in making various dyes, cosmetics, food glazes, wood varnishes, and polishes. Insect in medicine and science. Insects and insect-derived products are used in many parts of the world since ancient times as medicinal agents. An art called entomotherapy, hygiene, evolved from Indian larva of Musca domestica, maggot, polysaccharides, flavons, and blueberry seed. Weaver ants, bee venom, and cantarin are examples of insect products of medicinal value. The government will be into entomotherapy is to help in saving many lives and contribute significantly to national economic development. Insects in scientific studies. Drosophila and mosquitoes are useful in genetic and toxicological studies respectively. Insects are used to draw conclusions that cannot be provided by pathologists when investigating legal cases, an aspect called forensic entomology. They provide reliable evidences on the time and type of death, postmortem interval, and the connection of the suspect with the death scene. Figure 7. The paradox of insects. Madam Vice Chancellor, the positive contributions of insects to human welfare are undeniable. However, some insects, less than 2% though, are harmful to man, animals, and crops. They play critical destructive roles in agriculture, buildings, and cosmopolitan transmission of human and animal diseases, which in insects as pests and parasites of agriculture. Nursery insect pests such as Zoloceros radicatus, termites and crickets damage seedlings of cocoa, cola, coffee, and oil palm prior to transplant. Defoliators, stem borers, and pests of fruits are common occurrence. The post-harvest phases of plantation crops, roots and sugar, cereal grains, and grain legumes, dried animal products are highly susceptible to various degrees of insect pest infestation. Figures 8A and B. The indirect damage done by insect pests to agricultural crops includes serving as vectors of disease agents such as bacteria, fungi, and viruses, which are implicated in some life-threatening diseases of plants. Termites attack agricultural crops and emit greenhouse gas, thus contributing to global climate change programs. Insects, vectors, and public health. Vector-borne infections through the bite of insect vectors, figure 9, account for more than 70% of all infectious diseases globally and are responsible for over 700,000 deaths annually. It is not surprising that mosquito has earned the reputation as the deadliest animal on earth, killing many people every year. Economic importance of insect vectors. The implications of insect vectors for public health, food security, and economic development are profound. Insect-borne diseases impose heavy financial and logistical demands on health systems and undermine human capital by reducing workforce productivity due to mortality, morbidity, chronic disability, and death. They also compromise food production through their impact on livestock health and agricultural labor. Malaria alone is estimated to cost Africa over $12 billion annually in health expenditures, lost productivity, and reduced investment. Insect pest management. Madam Vice President. Food shortage in developing countries is not due to inadequate production alone, but for the large losses of harvested commodities during the post-harvest phase over the centuries. Several attempts have been made to control insect pests using methods such as mechanical, cultural, physical, biological, biotechnical, and chemical control methods to minimize the damage caused by polyphagous and phytophagous insects. But effective control has only been achieved through the use of synthetic chemical insecticides. However, there have been reports of pesticide residues above limits in staple foods and even human breast milk. Added to this is the regular supply and many-fold increase in the cost of insecticides yearly, leading to increase in the cost of production. To worsen the situation, continuous application of synthetic chemical insecticides have led to the killing of insects' natural enemies, insect resistance and resurgence, and outbreaks of secondary pests, in addition to increased consumption of insecticides by humans through food. My choice and adventure. Madam Vice President. The aforementioned attendant programs of synthetic insecticide is of global concern and has led to the search for eco-friendly methods to keep insect pests below economic threshold level and minimize considerably the use of synthetic chemical insecticides. Plants are known to produce biochemical compounds which prevent their colonization by insect pests, other herbivores, and pathogens. I have screened medicinal and underutilized plants against the life stages of insect pests of grain legumes, cereal grains, dry fish, and termites, as well as identified their inherent biochemical compounds that are of insecticidal values, which could be used as ingredients to develop eco-friendly agents for the management of insect pests. Table 3. I recently researched on entomophagy, an approach for the control of termites, in addition to research on semiochemical for the management of insect pests of cow. My contributions to knowledge, research on termites. Madam Vice President. The use of termite as food is an effective and environmentally friendly method of control of termites. Removal of the royal shaker containing the queen and the kings keeps a termitarian dormant for a minimum of 6 months, as confirmed by Ajani and Oladipo in 2007. We also ascertained food uses of other termite casts apart from the others. The 4 casts were very nutritious to and functional stability. Ajali 2012A further found the queen as the most didactic. Anti-nutrient was generally low in all the class 85. Water was best in physicochemical qualities 76. The findings confirmed that all the 4 castes of termites are safe for human and animal consumption and therefore recommended for inclusion in human foods and livestock feeds. Ajali Aladebire 2007A, Ajali 2012A. Management of termite with botanicals, Madam Vice President. Ajali in 2012 established that petroleum-meter extracted oils of the Arthropods and relied next camel protected good against subterranean termites for 12 weeks. Ajali et al. 2012 reported effectiveness of petroleum-meter, chloroform, ethyl acetate and methanol fractions of moringa, lucida, and natural stramonium as wood preservative for 12 weeks. Ethyl acetate fraction of moringa, lucida was most potent in suppressing wood damage to 9 and 10. Proton and carbon-13 NMR revealed that trapilo and scopoletin are the major components of the ethyl acetate soluble fraction of moringa, lucida, table 11. Ajali et al. 2018A evaluated extract of 2 adjunct termites resistant wood, Milicia essesa and Paya senegalensis in open and shaded field to confirm resistance to termites and identify their components for developing termite control agents. The wood blocks in the open field were less infected than those under shade, figure 10. Mixture of SA extract was most effective in protected wood for 12 weeks, 12 and 13. Milicia essesa contain more insecticidal compounds than Paya senegalensis, tables 14 and 15. The compounds identified are potential ingredients for the formulation of plant-derived herbicide agents for management of subterranean termites. Oladipo et al. 2020 found mixtures of extract of Azadirachta indica, Nicotiana tabacum, and Arthropods as wood protectants against termites. Mixtures of extract of indica and tabacum was most toxic to worker and social cats, figures 11 and 12. Mixture of tabacum plus J-Coccus was most repelling to the termites, figure 13. Mixture of the 3 extracts offered the highest protection against termite damage in the open field, table 16. The knowledge about the components of botanicals and very clear potency under different conditions is vital in the developing control agents against subterranean termites. Akima et al. 2023 found extract of Amicabium occidentalis and Syzygium aromaticum effective as wood preservative against subterranean termites, figure 14. However, A. occidentalis extra CV and mixtures of the 2 extracts were potent and had lasting protective effect, no toxin to earthworm, a non-target organism. Hence, the botanicals are recommended as wood protectants against termites, but the use must be regulated to prevent poisoning of soil fauna. Ajali 2012, Ajali et al. 2012, Ajali et al. 2018, Oladipo et al. 2020, Akimade et al. 2020. Management of pest concerns and grain abuse with botanicals, Madam Vice Chancellor. Ajali Aladebire 2002 confirmed the seed oil of Stanford's rural reputants toxic to the life stages of Arthropods maculatus in addition to a significant reduction in oviposition, adult emergence and mating frequency of the male breed. The oil completely inhibited cowpea generation but protected the seed from infestation and damage for 3 months. Ajali 2015A reported the toxicity of 3 extracts of Monica charentiati to adult and egg stages of C. maculatus and its repellent effect on the adult insects, figure 15 and table 17. The greater efficacy of exit extract of Monica charentiati signals a greater biosyntheticidal activity of the non-polar group of compounds in the plant. Ajali 2015A, Ajali et al. 2014A evaluated the fluid toxicity of 8 essential monoterpenes: Saniol, Carbacrop, Eugenol, Pentone, Linacru, Limonene, Beta-Pinene, and Alpha-Pinene on the C. maculatus. Saniol, Carbacrop, Eugenol, and Limonene were effective at killing C. maculatus, figure 6. Eugenol and Pentone completely inhibited adult emergence, figure 17. Madam Vice Chancellor, grains are spray and 6 months after fumigation. The results revealed that cavacol, cyanure, and luminol were phytotoxic to cowpieces, while menthol showed a very good viability qualities and relatively non-toxic, tables 18 and 19. Therefore, based on our previous findings on the use of plant oil to protect cowpea against immaculatitis and the result of this viability test, it is highly imperative to reach a compromise between future use of stored cowpeas and the choice of protective males. And January 2014A and January 2014B. In addition, effective developmental inhibition of the extract of Zingiber officinae and Moringa oleifera on Calypsopropus kinesis was reported by January 2018, figure 18 and tables 20 and 21. The team at January 2019 also reported that extract of Xylopia ethiopia and Senna occidentalis inhibited egg-laying and adult eclosion of C. kinesis by reducing activities of glutathione reductase, glutathione peroxidase, glutathione S-trifosfates, and trihalase figures 19 and 20 and 21. Oladipo 2022 established insecticidal, phytotoxicity, and fungicidal potentials of extracts of escalate against C. kinesis, cowpea and aspergillus species respectively, figures 22 and 23. The major components of the HPK and CPKO were identified, tables 23 and 24. Laurin and capric acids in HPKO possess antimicrobial properties, which may account for its greater insecticidal and fungicidal activities. Agali, et al. 2018, Agali et al. 2019, Oladipo et al. 2022. Parental influence on susceptibility of cerebrin to the tropical warehouse moth Ephestia cortella was reported by Bami et al. 2015. In Ajali 2013A, extant extract of Denolis regia and Moringa lucida caused 100% mortality of adults and eggs of Cytophilus indes and C. maculatus figures 24 to 26 and exhibited strong repellent activities against the insect, indicating its components as potential parasiticide. The major components of Moringa lucida are anthraquinones, tannin, alkaloids, flavonoids, and glycosides. Ajali 2015 found extraction method, temperature, and synergism as key factors in the efficacy of oil against insect pests, figures 27 and 28. Ajali et al. 2019 confirmed the varietal effect of grain legumes, nutrient components, and processing on susceptibility of plants to Trichobium confusion, figure 29 and 30. We advise that stored grains and grain products would be a safe moisture content, preferably between 5 and 7%. When considering the management of Trichobium confusion on stored flours, more attention should be directed towards unprocessed plants to help because of their higher vulnerability to infestation. Oyemini and Ajali 2019 revealed that Lagos, Ogun, and Oyo State biotypes of Trichobium castalia were not susceptible to A. sativum and D. trichotala, table 25. Lagos State beetle population was more tolerant to both botanical extracts than Ondo and Ogun State biotypes, because 31 to 34. The study revealed that geographical origin of T. castalia could considerably influence its control using extracts from the two plants. Ajali 2013A, Ajali et al. 2014A, Ajali et al. 2014B, Ajali 2015, Ajali et al. 2015, Ajali et al. 2018, Ajali et al. 2019, Oyemini and Ajali 2019, Oladipo et al. 2022. Ashama and Ajali 2003 reported that processing method, packaging materials, moisture content, and storage temperature are critical factors that determine the rate of insect infestation and incidence of microorganisms in stored, smoke-dried fish. Added to this, Ajali et al. 2019 38 and 26, Ashano and Ajani, 2003, Ajani et al., 2009A, exploring the use of pseudochemicals and the role in insect management. The mission et al., 2025, confirmed that the attraction of C. maculatus to seeds and extract of 5 Nigerian cowpea and 5 improved cultivars of cowpea. Attraction of C. maculatus to 3 of the compounds in the cowpea extract was confirmed. Ajani et al. 2015 confirmed attraction of C. maculatus to the seeds of 3 legume cultivars, Ife ground and California maculatus cowpea and soybean as host, figure 39, and identified the preference of C. maculatus among the 3 legume cultivars, figure 40. This EAG with the antenna of mated female C. maculatus detected biologically active heat, figure 41. Attraction of C. maculatus to the pure form of the biologically active heat detected was also confirmed. The result demonstrated that host preference in C. maculatus is photo-mediated and identified host fields that are potential attractants for C. maculatus. This is the first mention in carrier C. maculatus mediated interaction. Ajani et al. 2018C established attraction of flight morph of mated 3 to 4-day-old female C. maculatus to the new plant with the green pod, without plant, with green plants with dragon pod and dragon pod only, and plants without pod. C. maculatus and greater attraction to individual legume plants at the 3 phenological stages, but preferred EIP at all stages to other legumes. The behavioral response was based on inherent properties of each legume, figure 42. These results revealed that in addition to infecting cowpea plants at ripening pod stage, as reported in previous studies by other researchers, C. maculatus could also infect cowpea plants at green pod stage. More compounds that could be of interest in developing monitoring agents for C. maculatus were identified. The bioactive compounds that attracted rubies are potential ingredients for the formulation of effective duo for the monitoring and management of C. maculatus in cowpea. Mission et al. 2025A, Mission et al. 2025B, Ajani et al. 2015, Ajani et al. 2018C. Concluding remarks. Madam Vice Chancellor, the University says, once food is out of poverty becomes lightweight. The twin sister of this United States, health is wealth. Both sayings summarize the importance of insects in national economic development, as revealed in this inaugural lecture. Insects must be properly managed to maximize the contributions of beneficial species to Nigeria's economy. I have stated the various means by which man has been battling the deleterious insect species, yet faced with daring, rebellious, anti-responses, even with synthetic chemical insecticides, the most effective so far, and have equally analyzed the precipitated global problem of synthetic chemical insecticides. Man was created on the 6th day into habitats already colonized by the organisms before created. Insects are well endowed by God with instincts and adaptive capabilities that surpass the supremacy of man. The battle line thrown between insects and man at the intersect of life essential resources of both creatures remains as long as human race endures. Hence, the question, who wins the conflict, insect or man? Man has the capacity to invent weapons to win the conflict, but himself must be singing, "Oh Lord, I am coming home," as he applies it, because such weapons will be extremely toxic to man, other non-target organisms, and the environment with resultant self-annihilation, no chance to acute and chronic toxicities and dead genetic mutations. Nigeria uses $362.5 million annually arising from irrigation of cowpea in international markets due to residues of sniper, organochlorines, and methane above international limits. These are the grains we buy in Nigeria and eat daily. Some human diseases are linked to long-term consumption of foods with insecticide recipes. Deleterious insects should be managed using integrated poison recommendations. Insects are very critical in the existence of man. Therefore, it is of survival value for man to gain mastery over them. The following suggestion of the Prof. Enlightenment on insects and environment should be made compulsory starting from elementary school. Establishment of Department of Entomology in all universities. Insect rearing and conservation should be prioritized. Management of noxious insect species to major on the use of human and environment-friendly alternatives. Effective surveillance activities to prevent importation of banned pesticides and exotic pests. More research support from government and private sector to encourage researchers and to allied industry should partner with researchers for novel outputs, prioritization of food storage, and preservation to ensure food stability. Full-time is the only university offering storage technology in this country at present. Department of or Institute of Storage Technology should remain compulsory in universities of technology. Farmers and researchers should be encouraged to establish plantations of medicinal plants for constant availability for research and cultivation of Africa Palmyra, Borassus ethiopium, and absolute termite resistant palm as roofing plant. Free financial support for indigent students in form of bursary, donations from NGOs and philanthropists, as some may not be able to pay back considering their background. Acknowledgement. I thank the Almighty God for His mercy that sustained me this far. At every crossroad of challenges, He showed Himself strong for me. He blessed my memory and enriched me with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to study and research. He ordered my footsteps along the path of incredibly amazing personalities destined to help my destiny. To Him be all glory, honor, and admiration. I remain grateful to my late parents, and Mrs. My father wanted his children to be educated. Apart from family, he sold firewood, wrapping leaves, and engaged as laborer to meet our needs. I first learned about the fight against termites and on farm storage from my father. He does produce plants from African Palmyra, Borassus ethiopium. An absolute termite resistant plant as roofing plant for sale. He taught us dignity in labor, integrity, trustworthiness, and to be hardworking, perseverant, prudent, and dedicated to hospitality. His legacy and belief have helped us to survive. I call the name Ajayi in and outside this nation, my father, and the name resonates today. Ajayi. A Kemoni Rogbanga, sleep on fire. Was an embodiment of motherhood, a rare gem of love, and endurance personified. Apart from the peculiarities at my birth, to keep me alive was a huge prize of her resilience. Series of abusive words from nurses whenever I refuse injection and escape from hospital. She does any legitimate job, no matter how seemingly demeaning it is, provided she gets provision for her family. Her genuine nature has brought me this far. An architect of motherhood. She sacrificed a lot of family, and God has crowned your efforts with success. Mom, you are the one we celebrated today. I acknowledge your late husband, Mr. Joshua Ogunleye, and forever grateful. My elder brother, my daddy, as I usually call him, Pastor Olufunmilayo. Dad, your fatherly role is beyond my comprehension. Your stand for the family, spiritually, physically, emotionally, and financially is the God. I appreciate your spouse, Eunice, I'm grateful to all friends and in-laws of Ajani's family. You are precious to us. I acknowledge the contributions of the past and present vice presidents to the progress of FUTA and to my career. Acting Vice Chancellor, late Professor Olufunmilayo employed me as graduate assistant in 2000. Professor Peter appointed me assistant lecturer in 2003. Professor Adebisi Balogun appointed me as lecturer at lecturer 2 in 2005. Late Gregory Adebidamola approved my study for postdoctoral studies in 2010. Professor J. appointed me acting head of the Department of Biology, announced my promotion to leadership in 2016, and declared my professorship in December 2020, backdated to October 2019. I remain grateful to the governing council, past and present, of this university, the Senate, and the entire management of this great university for the conducive environment to learn and grow academically. I thank our President for approving the date of this inaugural lecture. I sincerely thank the past and present deans, heads of department, professors, other academic and non-academic staff of Old School of Sciences and current School of Life Sciences under the leadership of Professor M.K. Oladipo. My biology family have been very loving and supportive. All my colleagues, friends, and my students at both undergraduate and postgraduate levels are appreciated. Thank you all. I can never forget my late colleagues and friends, Dr. Ruti Adekunle, Dr. Oki Olorunfemi, and Dr. Foluke Olubule. Each of them contributed significantly to my progress. God will take care of their families. Rest on beloved. My unhallowed gratitude to my academic mentors and supervisor, Professor Chris Olukayo Adedile. He adequately prepared me for the faculty career and the task ahead. Sir, I am very grateful. Madam Vice Chancellor. Professor Eunice was an ardent mentor. She encouraged and assisted me till I got number J scholarship for postdoctoral study and supported me all through in being happy. My destiny helped. Man, you saw the seed of mercy and love. Definitely your generation will continue to reap the fruits. I thank all friends and supporters of the Center for Continuing Education, the management members, all categories of staff in the center. My good people, I'm very grateful. God bless you. I'm eternally grateful to the General Secretary of the Department of Ministry, Pastor Oladipo, for shaping my life with undiluted words of God and using as point of contact to appreciate all members of Deeper Life Campus, Deeper Christian Life Ministry in and outside this country that have contributed in all the other to my achievements. I pray they will not lose their reward. As you comrades are wonderful, solidarity forever. During my undergraduate days, I did some jobs to support my family on my education. Dr. John A. Osmani and his wife, Mrs. Adeline Adebola Osmani, both of blessed memory, engaged me as house help. They treated me as one of their children. The family is heavily represented today by their illustrious son, Pastor Olufunmilayo Osmani and his house. The couple sow the seed of love, mercy, and hope on the soil of humanity. God will continue to reward them on their generations. Sleep on, that and on. I'm also indebted to Mama Bulemo Tudimo and Ramata Awaidawo at Atamule. Oba Okaka Olabule. When I changed job to selling plantains, they assisted me several times to keep my plantain in their boat till they found convenient for me to come and pack it. Thank you so much. I also thank Professor Olufunmilayo. He assisted me with his red cash. Whenever I carry load of plantain on my head, along the president of the roads, he and the then acting vice chancellor of FUTA, late Professor Adeyemi, were my customers. They do bring their children to make care from me. That their Toye also does come to kill for money. I am very grateful to you also. Special thanks to Mrs. H.O. and Mrs. Oladipo Adekunle, the home economics teachers in charge of FUTA talk show. When I changed my plantain to selling plantations during my master's program, their support and Sacrifice Father for the assistance and encouragement. I appreciate Leader Past PC, Unimed Ondo, Professor Fatisi, who approved my sabbatical appointment in 2020. I thank Dr. Esther and all colleagues in the department. God bless you. I appreciate the financial assistance that helped my academic development, possibly from the state government, under the administration of the former governor, Sheto. I thank Pastor Deo and Professor Mrs. Olufunmilayo for their selfless role at getting the bursary. I thank the federal government of Nigeria for the award of TechFund grant to attend conference and conduct research. Special appreciation to Strong Bagay Foundation for the award of 2012 and 2013 postdoctoral scholarship, tenable at Open University, Alabama, USA. I thank my host, Henry Fadamiro, and then chair of the department, Attorney with whom I also research extensively, and also all my department members I appreciate. I remain grateful to everyone whose path has crossed mine. Too numerous to enlist or mention as answer. God bless you all. I thank my lovely children, Emmanuel Olufunmilayo, my Barnabas, Oluwatosi Adeboni, my darling, Adetomi, my darling princess, and my precious Emidayo, Ini Oluwagarisola. You are my jewels of inestimable value. I cherish you forever. My deep appreciation to my dear husband, Mr. Oladipo, the gentleman to the top. I appreciate your love, for prosperity, understanding, and cooperation that give me peace as well as Madam Vice President, people say, sin is believing. Please permit me to acknowledge and express my deepest appreciation to someone who did not see me, yet believes in me, and role model, and every type of love, elegantly, beautifully, and out, there with the ornament of grace and virtue, and crown is honor, my brilliant seasoned mentor in administration, highest director, and mouth is the pen of a ready writer, ever fully loaded, to answer anyone attend radios, and talking about the throne in Oladipo's dynasty, Professor, and then you get a leader, Oladipo, the first female of this great citadel of Ghana, an icon of faith, who believed in kindness of the wonders of the cross in my life, and appointed me the director of the Center for Continuing Education. You have been bearing me on your shoulders. I tell you that, onward to success, understanding, you were seated, the nature of Christ, lifted the burdens of our hearts, put smiles on our faces, insisting by resolving the issues of the job from my beloved people. Blessed is the moon that presents you a blessing to this generation. Therefore, God, we continue to reign in your domain. You are granting our destiny. Lions will continue to follow to the human blessing. We sow mercy. You and your generation will reap the fruit of mercy forever. You are engraved on the monument in our hearts. Thank you, ma. I am very grateful. Madam Vice President, please permit me to end this 193rd Inaugural lecture with the seal of Ajayi Modola Foundation for the support of 4 indigent students with 250,000 naira every session. Henceforth, 2 males, each with 50,000 naira, and 2 females, each with 75,000 naira. Ajayi's generation will sustain and improve on it. I lift up the name of the Almighty God, and humbly lay all my trophies at His feet. Ladies and gentlemen, I am a symbol of the faithfulness of God. Thank you all for listening.
two-legged arthropods. Let me particularly mention that this evening I am particularly surprised that insects are well endowed by God with instincts and adaptive capabilities that surpass the supremacy of man. Another hand of across. I remember that. Ladies and gentlemen, it is customary for us to appreciate those who have come to grace this occasion. May I inform you that we have all of you here very important, and for want of time, we may not be able to mention every day, but you are all very, very important, and I appreciate you for coming. A round of applause for everyone. Thank you very much. Yeah, this junction, appreciate Professor Joseph Adiola for our immediate past chancellor of this university that we are welcome. Thank you for your invitation. Professor P. Olufunmilayo, Vice Chancellor of Elizabeth University. Professor Oladipo, member of the Governing Council. Welcome. Professor Tunde Alayela, former BPCA of Kuta. You are welcome. Professor Prof, former Deputy Vice Chancellor of Academic Kuta. You are welcome. Professor Eunice, former member of Kuta Governing Council. You are welcome. Professor Moses Ajewole, former member of Kuta Governing Council. You are welcome. Professor Oladipo, former member of Kuta Governing Council. You are welcome. Dr. Former registrar of Arthropods University and his Amir Kuwait. You're welcome. Thank you for coming. Professor Olufunmilayo, former registrar of Kuta. You're welcome. Chief Julius Adeshoba, former boss of Kuta. You're very welcome. Please, Adeshina, former university librarian. You're welcome. Mr. Zaina, Mrs. Zaina, former deputy librarian. Welcome. Mr. A.W. Adoniye, former acting registrar, on his Amekuwa. Welcome. Mr. P.J., President, Kuta Alumni Association Worldwide. You are welcome. Honorable Anthony Ojo, Financial Secretary, Kuta Alumni Association Worldwide. You are welcome. Professor Emeritus Akilasede, Premier Chaplain, Kuta Chapel of Faith. Welcome. American Professor of the University. Dr. Mrs. Mojisola Ablo Ashobala, Eunice. Welcome, lady. Pastor Kola Osalibi, Power and Glory Tabernacle. You are welcome. Professor Eunice of Motosho, Ekiti State University. Thank you, sir. You are welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me to respectfully welcome Oladipo Ogunlowo, Awosile of Arthropods. Moses Ekulayo, Batare, the only Dogun of Dogun, you are welcome. Thank you for coming. We want to welcome the family of the inaugural lecturer, Olufunmilayo Ajayi. Welcome, brother. You are very welcome. Thank you for your support. Olufunmilayo Ajayi, younger brother. Mr. and Mrs. Oladipo, thank you so much. Mr. and Mrs. Oladipo, foster father and mother. Thank you so much. I want to recognize the family, the immediate family of the inaugural lecturer. First, I want to recognize and announce the name Ajayi Mohammed, the son of the inaugural lecturer. Thank you so much. Olufunmilayo Ajayi, daughter-in-law. Kabesola Ajayi, the granddaughter. Recognize somebody who has been described as a gentleman to the girl, somebody, a man who is very humane, a man who is supportive, a man who is understanding and caring, a man who is
Before the conclusion of this event, I have a couple of announcements. Immediately after the procession, the Vice Chancellor leaves the auditorium. All professors and other members of staff from School of Life Sciences should go to their school. Some persons will be waiting for them there. Professors from other schools will be attended to where I am pointing to at the car park, while other university staff should go to the Hilltop Auditorium. For the students, immediately after now, I will announce where you should go. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let's ride for the footer as well as the national anthem.
It's
We shall remain standing as the procession of the Vice Chancellor leaves the auditorium. We will remain standing. All students from CC go to Olufunmilayo campus